Okay, Brian. So I thought today what we'd do is we talk about Cleveland and what the big deal is. Both just from an investment point of view, how long you've worked in the market, and also maybe just like people might be interested, things to do out there. But initially, what's the big deal? I mean, I've got things that it appeals to me. It seems to be ticking a lot of boxes investment wise for myself. When I look around property prices around the US, I look for, I looked at Buffalo. When I was looking around, I was getting pitched a lot of stock in Buffalo. But to me, it was like in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't
Um,
really get the impression it was a big city.
that is what's surprising here is you have um, a lot of your major cities. They have those what we call offspring things happening where younger couples want to raise their kids in a smaller town, and or just out of the congestion of the city. Even like here, you have as the generation is getting older.
Yeah.
Again, they want to move out more to the suburbs or outside the city a little bit to have a little more green space, to have that hometown feeling and such. Um, and that's part of what's happening. And then you have all, which strangely is enough that I'm finding more and more, you have all these little micro breweries popping up.
Okay.
They seem to be congregating around those things as well around hospitals and schools and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of reasons why certain areas are becoming more popular or are more populated, even though they're small.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And just regarding like the workforce, you got a lot of big employers there. I mean, I know Quicken Loans, even I've heard of them, and I'm from the UK.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty big. They have their whole main office right here in town. Well, and when I say town, in the city,
Yeah, I
the
believe
city,
that.
but it's like a giant town.
Yeah, I understand the guy who owns it. He owns the football team, right? He's a billionaire or something like that.
Uh, Possibly, I'm not sure. I think the Quicken Loans is where they play basketball, though. So
Okay, all right.
that's the actual stadium you play. The Cavaliers play in.
Yeah, that's right. I understand he owns the Cavaliers, the owner of Quicken Loans.
Okay, that's probably what. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I understand. But yeah, apart from those guys, I mean, I think the industry was a lot of it industrial. Was it metalworking back there back in the day?
Back in the day, it was the booming place to be, as well as all along the Great Lake. There, you have because we're nestled right on the lake, so you have all these like ports along the way,
Okay.
and it's come back a bit. There, you can see the steel mills are operating. The one close to here now operates 24/7
Okay.
because it's cheaper to keep the furnaces on all the time instead of cooling them down, heating them back up, all the time.
I see.
Found it just better to stay lit the whole time.
Okay. And you got a lot of medical facilities, which gives a lot of employment in the area.
Some of the best in the world.
Really?
Yeah, no, we have like the Cleveland Clinic. You have the university hospitals. You have Health First. Um, some of them are number one, number two in the country.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. And just as an investment, if I was like comparing New York, Cleveland, obviously New York prices are sky high, and you're not going to get that good a rental yield anymore. I mean, people are a little bit blinkered there. They're getting what 5-6% rental yield in Cleveland.
It's going to depend where you want to invest there. I mean, a normal flat nowadays, you don't be surprised to spend a mill or two.
Yeah.
And I mean, they gravitated out to Brooklyn for crying out loud. So I remember the day when I was crossing the cross is actually the Cross Bronx Expressway. What was I, about 18 years old? Like last week. And,
Are you from the Bronx originally?
no, I'm from New York originally. Yes.
Which part? Jersey.
I'm actually an island boy. So
Long Island, right?
I was born on an island. Yeah, Long Island. Yes. So
Long Island is that the wealthy part?
yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't born with a silver spoon.
Yeah.
I had to work for what I got. So, but I know that like what they revere as the place to be nowadays on the island. I used to, as a young teenager, we used to party on the beach over there in Southampton.
Yeah, the Hamptons famous, right?
Oh yeah, so still is, but we had our fun there. So
All right, nice.
so now it's Vegas or Bahamas or Virgin Islands or something, So
yeah, okay, all right, great. So I think what we're saying though, investment wise, we're getting a lot more for their money. People investing in somewhere like Cleveland, you're still going to get a lot more for your money.
Oh yeah, it's like what was happening in Florida in 2007 and 8 and 9, where you had that hit in 2005, 6, 7, and then in 8 too. But the values of property just drops like a rock. But you were able to buy a lot of property cheap and then rent it out, especially like around Disney World, for example.
Yeah.
In which is known as Central Florida. And back in 2008, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, even when I left Florida, you could buy property and literally have your money back within a year or two, just like here now. So I look at it in those terms, when you can buy a piece of property and virtually have your money back in your bank account within 3-year period, that's really a good potential,
Yeah, 100%. And those properties in Florida now appreciate significantly, I suppose.
In parts, unless you're in a sinkhole. And you've lost your investment.
Yeah.
Not to say anything bad about Florida. It's a great place, and there are safe places there. In fact, we have investments there. So hopefully all our customers will follow us around the country. So
Yeah. I think when we look at these rental yields, 20, 25%, it shows you that you got a lot of potential there for capital gains for the future. But at the same time, you've got a nice comfort factor. You've got a good rental yield. So whatever happens with the economy and everything else, I think you've got a good comfort factor.
Right. And what you're going to find is right now we're having a good run here.
Yeah.
When I say good run, you want to think of it like cattle. You bring them up from little babies until they're mature enough. You take them to the slaughterhouse and they're gone, right? So we got kind of treated the same way here. We want to take it from its infancy, grow it, and then sell it off and move on to another hot spot in the country. So, which is we can be very lucrative that way, and or here and there we catch what's called a cash cow, right? We call it the CS here. I'm sorry, the CC, cash cow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's a CC. So whenever you see a little abbreviation CC between our group here, we understand it's called, we represent a cash cow. Okay, so
yeah,
some of those we want to keep for the whole life, especially if it's like an apartment building that's in a good area, and it just keeps producing cash to us. So
yeah.
So,
and then Brian, we're looking at hundreds of properties at the moment, and we're sifting through them, and we're digging out and finding these cash cows because they're the ones that either we're interested in or are good for our investors. So we're only holding on to the ones that have got good potential and potential cash cows.
Yeah.
We get offered a lot of product and we just kind of neglecting that on the side, right?
Well, I think what we're doing for our customers right now is weeding through, like you said, and finding the ones that have the better cap rates on them, yield rates, and also the areas that they're in, as opposed to all the tax breaks we can get on them for not only now, but turning some of those into commercial property as well. So,
yeah. Okay, so I was speaking to an investor today, and his question was, who are we going to rent to? And he was just kind of feeling out the market because he's not been to Cleveland yet. And the conversation went along similar lines. It was these large employers out there. You've also got professionals there that we can let to, people in medicine, people in the medical arena, and people who've got enough money to come up with a substantial deposit to rent the property.
Right.
And their background, we credit check their background, we screen them, and so we don't have issues with the tenancy later on.
Right.
Had no issues so far working out there.
Yeah, we can go both ways, with just a regular normal renter that's qualified. We can also look into what's world famous, I guess, the Section 8s, they call them, because you can get more rent out of that system if you want to go that route, but you're more susceptible to more government overlooking your property. They'll inspect it and you'll have to meet certain criteria. It's not that none of our properties aren't safe. They certainly are. However, you can have a Section 8 and they can complain about a socket went bad because their kids keep playing with it,
Yeah.
or God knows what, and they can actually fine you for it if you don't tend to it right away. Now, normally if we can, I want to scare you from that avenue because it is a little more lucrative. But those are the ones you save for, I would say, a lesser property, because we have properties that are categories A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on. So we're trying to stay out of those Fs, and we actually only want to go to a D or what we call a D minus if we're going to go to a Section 8 way.
Okay.
So that way, if a renter destroys our property, it's not so bad. It's still a profitable situation long term. So, but we're also into B and A properties as well, or properties that are gonna be a nice B, solid B area, a year or two from now. So, we do a lot of homework and investigation as to where we're buying and where we're restructuring the properties for longevity for our long-term investors in the areas that are profitable for just short-term to take that property and move it into a commercial property, we'll say. So
these F areas, there would be things like war zones, which we just don't.
Correct.
That's exactly where we don't want to be, and we wouldn't put an investor in those areas because one, we're probably going to be ending up having some kind of overview management of it, or somebody's going to have to babysit that property for the investor, and we don't want to be stuck babysitting something in a war zone. So we tend not to go.
Well, if your property manager is afraid to go to your place and do what he has to do there, then that's the place we don't want to be. So,
yeah, exactly.
But that's everywhere,
Yeah, because
not here. I mean, everywhere here, but everywhere in the world. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that just to put things in perspective, though, a lot of people, they go online and they start seeing properties from like $5,000, $6,000. You know, obviously anyone can go into a website, a portal, and just put in, okay, Cleveland properties, and they'll come up with thousands of properties, but they don't really know the area. I mean, you're there on the ground, walking the streets.
Yeah, it's not only the area, but it's actually the quality of the house. I mean, I can find you ones cheaper than that for $2,000. I can get some for $400, man, all day long. But you know, when you got to dump $50,000 into it,
Yeah.
And it's in kind of not a war zone, you're throwing good money after bad. You know.
I actually had that. I had somebody offered me $2,000, and he sent me a really nice picture of the front facade.
Sure.
I got somebody to drive round, and when you drove around the back of it, the rest of the house was all burnt down.
Right.
Okay, you sent me the best picture.
Beautiful house, yeah. Buy it sight unseen.
Yeah,
Lots of dangers of buying sight unseen. You know, and the only reason you'd want to buy sight unseen is if the property itself, the land, is worth that, you know, or much more. So, you know.
Yeah, and we're like we say, we're in this for the long term. We want investors to hopefully, you know, take a property, it rents out well, it performs, and they come back for more. They come back for more so they can build a portfolio with us, and it's all
right
on both sides then.
Right.
Brian, I just wanted to touch on, I got asked as well regarding the renovations, and I know, I mean, how long you obviously run renovations out there in Cleveland, how long you've been doing that, and just to put investors at ease that
I've been renovating most of my life. Here in Cleveland, we're going on about 7 years now here in Cleveland. What's interesting is I was in the boom in Florida when you're 2008 all the way into 2013. Before I left Florida, you had that buy and hold mentality: just buy, rent it out, resell. And those guys that I used to deal with were buying. They'd get a renter in, and then they resell to another investor. Sometimes they were foreign investors, sometimes they were local.
Yeah.
But those are things we can do here as well. We can procure the property, get a renter in, get everything to turnkey, and then, you know, basically resell for what we have into it. But generally also, we're finding properties that certainly the investor can reinvest into the property just a little and do the same thing. You know, we can find them the renter and help them get it renovated. We don't necessarily have to do it now.
Yeah.
But we have all the resources to get it renovated for them and get the renter in. Boom, then put it out to sale and on to the next one. Keep going that way. I think currently, do we have that one listed now?
Yeah, we've got a couple of people.
That one on Parkview.
Yeah.
That one's a prime example of a fix and hold property, because of not only its potential yield rate, but it was carefully looked through. It's really mostly cosmetic things that it needs, and it can be turned around into a good investment for many years to come. So
yeah, definitely. I've got a couple of people interested in eyeing that property. So yeah, very good deal, that one. Brian, so basically with renovations, people are really in safe hands because obviously you've done loads and loads of renovations. But I know I wanted to mention as well, you had a property featured in the New York Times just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, we were actually slated for HGTV. They wanted to do a little bit on it, and the buyer of that property didn't want to be on TV, so I even offered them a brand new bathroom.
Really? I mean,
I tried my best, but they were camera shy. They wanted nothing to do with that camera.
okay.
So
We've got nice pictures. I mean, I'll get them loaded onto the website. But I've seen the pictures, and it looks really nice what you did to that property.
oh, it's a very lovely home. Absolutely. It's like, I think it was featured as one of the best homes in Cleveland under 250,000. So for that one, so
yeah, so definitely we'll get a link on that onto the website so people can have a look at that because
sure, yeah, absolutely, I don't mind, absolutely.
Yeah, good. And just a little bit, just to try and wrap up on, people might want to just know other things to do in Cleveland. People are starting to move there. What have you got otherwise?
We have a very, very nice attraction here. It's called houses. We want to just show them one house after the next.
I like that.
And we actually have some apartment buildings here too. We can show them.
Yeah.
Very nice to look at and buy. But I think you're talking about after we buy those houses, or so.
Yeah.
Well, again, you have the Cavaliers, right? You go to a Cavaliers game, a Browns game. I think we have when baseball season is around, depending what time of year you come here. You've got a couple of casinos here. You've got the whole town. You've got a slew of restaurants throughout Ohio City, in the city itself, and all the surrounding pockets around the city have all kinds of neat things. We have a bunch of museums here, cultural arts stuff going on. You got the Rocking Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right?
We've basically got a thriving city. It's not like people are going to come in the middle of nowhere. To me, it's like a real center of America.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's you can if you decide hey, I want to come touch a house, and especially if you're buying it, and again, I am a recovering contractor. I'm still recovering to this day. I want to touch the house. I want to, make sure the doors are working, and I just want to make sure that the faucets are working. It's in my nature. I can't help it. It's, I guess some bred in me or something. But there are investors that are similar. They want to touch their investment. They want to see it. Sometimes they want to smell it. I don't know, but in that, if that's the case, while they're here, there's certainly something for them to do.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah,
great. Thanks, Brian. We got a couple of people who are going to be coming over. I think February. I've got a guy coming from. We've got one investor coming in Feb. We've got another one coming in March. We've got a couple of other guys talking about coming. So yeah, I think we're going to be busy over the next few months.
Oh, we're busy now. So.
Okay, great. Thanks, Brian. I'll get this posted, and we'll speak soon.
I think we were in things to do, right? We have, I've been training a whole bunch of wholesalers, right? So because we've expanded to other parts of the country. So we do want to focus here in Cleveland because there are a massive amount of investment deals still here, for sure. And once we're fulfilled all our customers' needs here, and there's a few other hot spots we want to start touching on soon in the other parts of the country. And we also need to get current on all our tax strategies and all our money management strategies. So it's important to me because I always have to stay on top of that. I just recently got a hold of a tax strategy attorney. That's what he specifies in. I know we've talked about these opportunity zones, but they're all throughout the country. So they're not just here. And in those tax strategies, for all our buy and hold long-term investors, we want to know and be up on all this latest stuff because it's good all the way up. I think he was saying up until 2047 is when it expires. They might continue it after that, but everything we invest in now till 2047, we'll be able to obtain the best tax breaks possible as opposed to other investments here. So we're going to be talking about that very, very soon. We're probably I would like when you come here, we're going to have to sit down with him. See, he's bouncing back and forth between. He's actually coming out of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
He bought a home in Puerto Rico, I think. Was it Puerto Rico? Yeah. He's doing some business down there as well. So, but we'll probably have to get him to the table, and we might include him into our website and all. But
okay.
So so we're coming into some very, very hot and powerful tools coming to us that we have now, but we'd like to share with all our other investors soon. So
super. Right. Anything else you want to add, Brian, or are we pretty much with it?
Just other than I think you have something to do, so you should go do it.
Yeah, that's what I was conscious of.
That way,
1 minute past.
Good night's sleep, and it's still earlier here. I mean, we just had a thunderstorm come through. Probably couldn't hear it much, but as soon as it's done, I actually have a couple of contractors I have to check on. So.
Okay, great. Right, thanks for that, Brian. I'll catch up with you in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, 10-4.
Okay, take care. Speak to you soon.
All right, take care now. Bye, everybody. See ya.